following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on your MTW News Update, nomination papers are in, and while only 2 residents returned papers for mayor, the councilor-at-large race may feature up to 9 candidates. We have the details. The city's anti-blight ordinance make it a little tougher. We have the details from this week's city council meeting. Plus, 1 local company is receiving major federal funding. We'll tell you why. And how you can escape the heat this summer at the city's cooling centers. Welcome to this MTW News Update. Let's begin right now with this week's top stories. Potential candidates for this year's municipal elections were asked to return nomination papers to the city clerk's office by Tuesday, August 18th, and as of Wednesday, August 19th, it's officially a 2-way race for Mayor Nancy Stevens and Joseph Collins. For councilor-at-large, all 4 incumbents, Stephen Levy, Patricia Pope, Michael Ossing, and Arthur Vidgen, returned their certified papers. Jennifer Boudry, John McEnany, Paul Polowasik, J. Michael McGordy, and Mark Orm also handed in papers. Only McEnany and McGordy had not passed in certified papers as of Tuesday. The race to succeed Ward 3 Councillor Scott Schaefer, who is not running for re-election, has 3 official candidates. Paul Broder, Matt Elder, and George Stein submitted their certified papers. John Raymond and Jamie Giancola took out papers, but did not return them by Tuesday's deadline. City Clerk Lisa Thomas stated the city will likely have to hold a preliminary election on October 6th for the Ward 3 seat to whittle the number down to 2 candidates. In Ward 2, incumbent Paul Farrow and John Chagnon returned certified papers. Ward 4 Councillor Peter Jower and Ward 7 Councillor Donald Landers submitted certified papers. Stephen Carrigan passed in papers for signature certification for the Ward 4 position, while Jennifer Boudry also turned in papers for certification for the Ward 7 seat. Ward councillors Joseph Delano, Robert Seymour, and Edward Clancy are running unopposed for re-election. A 4-way race is developing for 3 available school committee seats. Incumbents Michelle Bodenhenninger, Mark Hediger, and Jennifer Hardy passed in their nomination papers, as did Natalie Lashmet. Candidates who did not turn in papers on Tuesday still have the option of a write-in campaign. Election Day is November 3rd. The city's anti-blight ordinance make it a little tougher. Councilors will soon discuss a proposal to prevent all cars from parking on lawns. The ordinance currently restricts only unregistered cars. The council Monday night referred the proposal to the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee. In other business, the council again postponed a public hearing on the special permit application for a new 104-room hotel on Seminaro Drive. The council also established a special committee to oversee upgrades of the wastewater treatment plants. The committee, which will meet monthly, consists of Council President Arthur Vidgen, Councilor-at-Large Michael Ossing, and Ward 1 Councilor Joseph Delano. The committee requested by Vidgen will meet first on September 14th. A local company is one of 5 Massachusetts agencies receiving major federal funding to help improve employment opportunities for people with disabilities. Employment Options of Brigham Street could receive up to $500,000 from the Federal Centers for Medicare Services. Purposes of the grant include looking at ways to streamline services for people with a cross-section of disabilities and how to best match prospective employees with communities' business needs. Marlborough Hospital was recently selected as one of 24 hospitals in the United States to participate in Project Boost. Project Boost is a comprehensive program to optimize care transitions from the hospital to home therapy, reducing complications while improving communication among healthcare providers. The program is implemented by hospital medicine physicians at Marlborough Hospital, which began its hospital medicine program in 2006. Do you need a cool spot to beat the heat? Well, Marlborough Hospital and the Council on Aging have been designated as cooling centers here in the city. Residents can visit the hospital cafeteria at 157 Union Street to cool down from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The Council on Aging at 240 Main Street is open for the same purpose from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. For more information, contact the Board of Health at 508-460-3751. The public is cordially invited to a ham and beans supper on Saturday, August 29th from 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the Marlborough Senior Center at 250 Main Street. Tickets are $6 for adults and $3 for children ages 7 and older. For more information or tickets, call Judy Jewett at 508-485-0785. Let's go now to our pet of the week.
This is Nikita, and Nikita is an older collie mix. She's a great choice if you're looking for a quiet, low-key companion. She's very easy to walk on a leash. She's 8 years old. She's a spayed female. Medically, she's all set to go. She gets along real good with everyone. She's good with other dogs. You know, if you're looking for a lower maintenance pet, Nikita would really be a great choice. So if you're interested in Nikita, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, the third annual Faith Lift auction hosted by the First Methodist Church is scheduled for September 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Moose Family Center at 67 Fitchburg Street. The evening will feature dinner, dessert, and entertainment. There will be a silent and live auction, and all of the proceeds will benefit maintenance and preservation of the historic First United Methodist Church. Admission is $10, and for more information, you can call 508-303-5014. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of your MTW News Update. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
The following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up on MTW News Update, I'm Carl Wilhelm. Things look a little greener in the city as state reps and the mayor were on hand to welcome a new energy-efficient business. Also, the Westerly Wastewater Treatment Plant received some green of their own towards upgrades. But first, big news about the Grand Marshal for this year's Labor Day Parade.
It is with great pleasure and honor that I announce this year's Grand Marshal is none other than our former parade director, George Wampum. With me today is George, Dave Grasso, our recreation director, and Ed Thurber, the new parade director for 2009. Ed's going to give a little background on George, but it is such an honor, George, we couldn't let you go. Now you're forced to just watch the parade. So is this the first time you're actually going to watch the parade?
Actually, in 27 years, yes.
That is fantastic. So we had to force him to watch the parade by naming him Grand Marshal and making him sit down this year for the parade. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Ed, who's going to just say a few words about George.
Thank you, Mayor. Back in the late 80s, this gentleman came up to me and asked me if I would please help out a little bit with putting the parade together, marshaling it on the street and getting the bands in. And I said, sure, I'll help out. And we've been doing this since probably 1989 or 88. I don't remember when. Well, you've been in it since 81, but I came along a little bit later. He has done a wonderful job, and I was approached by many people in the city to try and get different people named, but I felt that there was nobody that was more deserving of this position of Grand Marshal than George.
So again, the Labor Day Parade will be on Monday, September 7th, and you will see George not in his normal yellow vest that says director on the back, but you will see him riding at the beginning of the parade in a car. George, congratulations,
Thank
and we
you
are
so
so
much.
excited to have you as our Grand Marshal.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you all at our Labor Day Parade 2009.
I was very surprised, yes, because I fully expected I'd be out on the street giving Ed whatever help he might want from me this year. So I did not expect to be named Grand Marshal. It's a real honor. You know, I've been selecting Grand Marshals for the last 27 years, and we've always have been careful to make people who, or select people that have made a difference in the city. So I'm kind of honored and pleased to think that that's what they think of me.
Turning grass into gas may soon be a possibility, as Marlborough welcomed Qteris to the area on Thursday.
Qteris is a company that's a technology company that's all about taking plant material and converting it into ethanol for use in cars and trucks.
This research began nearly 12 years ago when a UMass professor discovered the Q microbe in the Quabbin Reservoir.
We uncovered a microbe, which we isolated from not far from here, from soil from near Quabbin Reservoir. And this microbe, we identified it as having unusual properties in that it can convert biomass, plant waste material, into ethanol, which can be used as a transportation fuel.
Thanks to government and business working together, Qteris has seen tremendous growth with their research over the past year.
The Congressman McGovern and Congressman Neal were instrumental in getting federal grants to the company to supplement the private money that was being raised. Congressman McGovern was helpful in terms of getting the company headquarters to locate here in Marlborough, and the Department of Energy is involved at looking at technology. Congressman McGovern has been instrumental in trying to help facilitate the Department of Energy and the federal government to look at companies like Qteris and try to find a way to facilitate the development of the technology so that we can get ethanol from the Q microbe, which, by the way, doesn't use food. What it uses is things like switchgrass, corn stover, basically waste products. What a great opportunity to develop an alternative source of fuel for transportation in this country.
On Monday, the Finance Committee met and recommended the approval of $286,000 of grant money to upgrade the Westerly wastewater treatment plant. Those funds are just a small portion of the $40 million federally mandated project. Almost $11 million has been acquired in grant money so far, with $10 million coming from the Massachusetts Opportunity Relocation and Expense Grant. Federal stimulus money may also make up 8 to 11% of the project's total cost, while Northborough will assume 30% of the projects since the town uses some of the plant's capacity. Construction is set to begin in February of 2010. For the first week of August 2009, thanks for watching your MTW News Update.
Hello, everybody. This is Mrs. Norman Maine. Please, sir, I want some more.
You miserable piece of humanity. I've had enough! Oh, what a woman! What a woman!
I have your heart from meat pudding.
It's just a smelling fog.
We are human. After all, nation coming.
following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on your MTW News Update, Senator Edward M. Kennedy of Massachusetts died Tuesday night at his home on Cape Cod after a year-long struggle with brain cancer. We have national and local reaction. A new police substation aims to make residents feel more safe. Plus, the efforts of the summer-long lunch program ends with a sunny celebration at Countryside Village. Don't go anywhere. This week's MTW News Update starts right now. Welcome to this MTW News Update. Let's begin right now with this week's top story as Marlborough remembers and celebrates the life of Ted Kennedy. From Washington to capitals around the world, the weak and the powerful mourned the death of Massachusetts Senator Edward M. Kennedy on Tuesday. Metro West residents called the death of Senator Edward Kennedy an enormous loss for the country.
Over the past several years, I've had the honor to call Teddy a colleague, a counselor, and a friend. And even though we have known this day was coming for some time now, we awaited it with no small amount of dread.
Every important event in my adult life, as I look back this morning and talking to Vicki, every single one, he was there.
The senator died late Tuesday at 77 years old after a year-long battle with brain cancer. Most remembered Kennedy as a voice for the underprivileged, saying his longevity spoke volumes to his contribution to Massachusetts residents. Many felt his death marked the end of an era.
Obviously, I was, like everyone else in the Commonwealth and in the nation, and frankly the world, was saddened to hear the news of Senator Kennedy's death. Senator Kennedy has been a fantastic supporter of the city of Marlborough. He's a legacy. And I'll never forget the day after I was elected, first term as mayor in 2005. Phone rang the next morning, and I'm in the kitchen in my pajamas and a cup of coffee, and Nancy, Ted Kennedy, and I just stood there with just such awe saying, oh my gosh, this is Senator Kennedy calling, congratulating me on winning the election and offering his support and anything he can do to help me in my term, in my administration. Even this year, we weren't successful in getting funding in the House appropriation, but Senator Kennedy got it in the Senate appropriation. And I thank him for his support and his leadership. And just last week, I sent him a letter thanking him and expressing sympathy on the loss of his sister, and said in that letter, I will never forget the advice that you gave me and your support, and I will greatly miss him.
Mayor Stevens went on Kennedy's unforgettable presence.
I always felt that he, in meeting him personally, that he really took a genuine personal interest in you as a person and what your goals were as a leader. He genuinely was very concerned about what we were going through as a city and how to help. And he was just a fantastic person and sympathetic and commanded a room when he walked in. And I found that very Miss him.
Mayor Stevens went on to this MTW news update. Let's begin right now with this week's top story as Marlborough remembers and celebrates the life of Ted Kennedy. From Washington to capitals around the world, the weak and the powerful mourned the death of Massachusetts Senator Edward M. Kennedy on Tuesday. Metro West residents called the death of Senator Edward Kennedy an enormous loss for the country.
Over the past several years, I've had the honor to call Teddy a colleague, a counselor, and a friend. And even though we have known this day was coming for some time now, we awaited it with no small amount of dread.
Every important event in my adult life, as I look back this morning and talking to Vicki, every single one, he was there.
The senator died late Tuesday at 77 years old after a year-long battle with brain cancer. Most remembered Kennedy as a voice for the underprivileged, saying his longevity spoke volumes to his contribution to Massachusetts residents. Many felt his death marked the end of an era.
Obviously, I was, like everyone else in the Commonwealth and in the nation, and frankly the world, was saddened to hear the news of Senator Kennedy's death. Senator Kennedy has been a fantastic supporter of the city of Marlborough. He's a legacy. And I'll never forget the day after I was elected, first term as mayor in 2005. Phone rang the next morning, and I'm in the kitchen in my pajamas and a cup of coffee, and Nancy, Ted Kennedy, and I just stood there with just such awe saying, oh my gosh, this is Senator Kennedy calling, congratulating me on winning the election and offering his support and anything he can do to help me in my term, in my administration. Even this year, we weren't successful in getting funding in the House appropriation, but Senator Kennedy got it in the Senate appropriation. And I thank him for his support and his leadership. And just last week, I sent him a letter thanking him and expressing sympathy on the loss of his sister, and said in that letter, I will never forget the advice that you gave me and your support, and I will greatly miss him.
Mayor Stevens went on to comment about Kennedy's unforgettable presence.
I always felt that he, in meeting him personally, that he really took a genuine personal interest in you as a person and what your goals were as a leader. He genuinely was really concerned about what we were going through as a city and how could he help. And he was just a fantastic person and just sympathetic and commanded a room when he walked in, and I found that very inspirational.
Two key election deadlines have passed, and the candidates whose names will appear on fall ballots is complete. The mayor, all 11 city councilors, and 3 school committee members are up for election, with at least 6 of whom will face no opposition unless a write-in candidate comes forward. 2 candidates for Ward 3 are no longer in the running for this year's municipal elections, John Raymond and Jamie Giancola. Both residents did not return nomination papers by the specified date. Responding to safety concerns, the city plans to open a police substation at the senior center and install security cameras around the building, which is also home to elderly housing. Seniors at last month's Community Development Authority meeting said they worry about safety at the Main Street housing complex.
There were some concerns voiced by the residents of 240 Main Street in terms of feeling safe in their home. And we hadn't heard that. A couple of years ago, we had some people had let us know that they felt that there were people in the building that shouldn't be there. I talked to the police chief at the time. We have more directed patrols, but hadn't really heard anything since then. So when we had the public meeting about the move of the Housing Authority, the overriding theme that day was safety.
The new substation will house the Community Policing Unit. Having the substation at the senior center should help to deter crime.
This is right on the street with direct window access to Main Street, and I think it'll be a very positive effect on the Main Street area.
The The school committee Tuesday night accepted nearly $1 million in grants for special education, some of which will be used to help students find jobs. The funding granted by the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education includes $637,000 from the federal stimulus program. In other business, Mayor Nancy Stevens says she's heard concerns from parents about the bus routes for the Advanced Math and Science Academy. The school department will know more about the ride lengths once the buses are on the road. The school committee is expected to discuss the issue in more detail at its next meeting on September 8th. The postponed student trip to Japan may still be a go, but another Japanese exchange this year seems unlikely. The annual exchange to Akuruno, Japan was postponed in May because of the concerns over the H1N1 virus. At this time, Akuruno students are not planning to come here in October as they normally do, and the Marlborough School Department does not have plans to send a new group of students later in the school year. On a lighter note, this past Thursday afternoon, kids got a chance to play, socialize, and say goodbye to summer in style as the Mayor's Youth Commission hosted the last lunch of the Summer Lunch program at Countryside Village. Despite the economy, donations were high and volunteers were plentiful for this year's program.
We have run from the week after school got out to the week before school starts so that we're able to offer kids who may normally have gotten the free or reduced lunches during the school year are able to have a lunch, have that continue during the summer.
Members from the Lions Club, Bob Kays, and DJ Rick, just to name a few, were at Thursday's event to help make it successful.
This is our 4th year doing the summer lunch program, and each year we've done a little bit more. We've had more volunteers, we've had more kids picking up the lunches. And that's what it's all about, just taking care of the kids. And if we can have a little fun doing it, so much the better.
On to another great place for kids. Although the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West faced major hits this year in state and federal funding, the organization continues to provide services to hundreds of children. The organization will serve more than 600 children each day this coming school year, up from 500 in 2007. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West serves more than 3,200 children in Marlborough, Hudson, and Framingham. Its annual membership fee is just $25.
Today we have Eddie McPhee, and Eddie is here because he was too much work for the mom, and the little girl in the house did not want to take care of him. It's a lot of responsibility to put on a young child to expect them to take care of a pet. And so Eddie is here looking for a whole family to take care of him. He's a 3-month-old male toy fox terrier, so he's going to be a small dog. Very sweet, but very active. So if you're looking for a puppy and you have the time to care for one, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, the second annual Day for Sis event will take place on September 19th from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 295 Wilder Road in Bolton, Massachusetts. The event will benefit Darcia Lazarus, whom is a 1980 graduate from Marlborough High School and a longtime teacher's aide in Hudson. Lazarus had an allergic reaction to an antibiotic which caused medical reactions, including a heart attack. Currently, Lazarus is in a coma and is a resident of Bolton Manor Nursing Home. If you would like to participate, an $80 entry for the event includes 9 holes of golf with cart, a barbecue lunch, and great raffle prizes. For more information or to learn more about Lazarus, please call Bill at 774-249-1747. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of your MTW News Update. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
The following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on your MTW News Update, Special Olympics athletes, local and national politicians remembered Eunice Kennedy Shriver for her passion and leadership on Tuesday, and we have a recap of a touching press conference. More election news as several city council seats draw heavy interest. We have who's taken interest as the collection of nomination papers comes to an end. And over 600 athletes came to the city to swim, bike, and run late last month. We have why in just minutes. Welcome to this MTW News Update. Let's begin right now with this week's top story as Marlborough remembers Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
If anyone ever asks if the spirit, determination, passion, and compassion of Eunice Kennedy Shriver will live on, you need only look behind me at this building that is being constructed to do exactly that.
About 100 Special Olympic athletes joined the organization's staff, volunteers, coaches, and board members at a press conference at the future state headquarters in Marlborough on Tuesday night.
We are here because I believe everyone knows that earlier today we lost our beloved founder, Eunice Kennedy Shriver.
Shriver, who founded the Special Olympics, passed away Tuesday morning at age 88. Robert Johnson, president and CEO of Special Olympics Massachusetts, said Shriver had passion, compassion, determination, and spirit.
Although she's passed from us today, one thing we can be certain is that her spirit lives on.
Shriver changed the world, said Colin Davidson, a Special Olympics athlete from Northborough.
Mrs. Shriver was an amazing woman. She is my inspiration, and I will now be more determined than ever to be the best athlete and person I can be.
3 million athletes participate in the Special Olympics in about 160 countries. President Barack Obama provided a statement on Tuesday stating Shriver's leadership greatly enriched the lives of Special Olympians throughout the world who have experienced the pride and joy of competition and achievement thanks to her vision. She will be greatly missed. As of Thursday, August 13th, the 2009 potential candidates for this year's municipal elections are as follows. For mayor, Nancy Stevens and Joseph Collins. For councilor at large, Jennifer Boudry, Stephen Levy, Patricia Pope, John McEnany, Michael Ossing, Arthur Vigent, Paul Polawasik. For Ward 1, Joseph Delano. For Ward 2, Paul Farrow, John Chagnon. For Ward 3, Paul Broder, John Raymond, Matt Elder, Jamie Giancola, George Stein. For Ward 4, Peter Jaware, Stephen Kerrigan. For Ward 5, Robert Seymour. For Ward 6, Edward Clancy. For Ward 7, Donald Landers, Jennifer Boudry. For School Committee, Michelle Bowden-Henninger, Natalie Lashmit, Mark Hediger, Jennifer Hardy. Residents must return nomination papers for certification by August 18th at 5 p.m. Election day is November 3rd, and if necessary, the city will be holding a preliminary election on October 6th. Councilors met on Tuesday night to continue discussions about construction on public ways that the city may have improperly authorized. Council President Arthur Vigent told the Operations and Oversight Committee that Building Commissioner Stephen Reed said the engineering department authorized construction of a driveway on Fitchburg Street. Public Works Commissioner Ron LaFreniere stated the engineering department did not give authorization for the work, and as soon as he found out about it, the city ordered the work to be stopped. Vigent argued that the work went on for nearly a week. Fitchburg Street is a public way but fell into disrepair because of lack of maintenance and relocation of the roadway. After an hour and a half of discussion, the committee tabled the matter. With renovations taking longer than expected, the owner of Corbin Plaza says new businesses will not open until at least late fall. A doctor from North Andover bought the building at 110 Pleasant Street at an auction last December for $310,000. The city had foreclosed on the property after the former owner could not pay $335,000 in back taxes. A spa will be the first business to open at the plaza. The 4-story, 24,000-square-foot building may also provide space to Marlborough Hospital and a physical rehabilitation clinic, but no leases have been yet signed. Marlborough Technology Park will have 3 new tenants, including Metro West Medical Center's corporate offices, according to the real estate firm that brokered the new leases. The hospital signed a lease for 19,000 square feet of office space at 100 Nickerson Road. Metro West Medical Center is moving its corporate offices from Framingham. Assabet Valley High School could get part of a $100 million fund set aside by state officials for vocational school upgrades and improvements. Superintendent Director Mary Jo Naraki states the Massachusetts School Building Authority is reviewing a proposal to replace the building's roof, doors, windows, and parts of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. There's no cost estimate of the project nor how much money would be offered by the state, but the project could get started as early as June 2010 if it meets with the approval of the state's school building officials. St. Michael's School of Hudson, after nearly a century at its High Street location, recently completed the short move to the former Hudson Catholic School building on Main Street. The move provides the school, which houses preschool through 8th grade, with more space, a gym, and science laboratory. There will be an open house on September 2nd, and the first half day of school is on September 8th. Open to children and families of all faiths and backgrounds, St. Michael's School serves children from Hudson, Marlborough, Stowe, and surrounding Metro West towns. For more information, please visit stmichaelsschoolhudson.org. Moving on to another new location, a local furnishing program has a new home and it's setting out to help people in need. Here's more on the furnishing program of Employment Options.
Low-income families that are qualified through agencies can actually come through and literally make their home from the ground up.
Furnishing Options is a program of Employment Options run by volunteers that mobilizes community support to obtain furniture and other household goods to provide items to low-income individuals and families struggling to create a home in the Marlborough area.
Furnishing Options is a program of Employment Options, and the program is run by staff such as myself, members, community volunteers, and we will be the team that mobilizes support for getting the donations, helping with the store to make the distributions.
The program offers essentials such as beds, sofas, dressers, cribs, kitchenettes, pots, pans, and dishes, but also includes items to make a residence homey, such as lamps, framed pictures, and curtains. After actively searching for a site to store and distribute donated household items, Branch Yules of the New Fry building came to the program's rescue. Yules has donated a space for all the donated items to jumpstart this much-needed service program.
We've donated the space here as a launching pad for them to really get some exposure to the city in hopes that it will help people see what it is, donate towards the cause, and donate more than just furnishings. We're looking for things that make it a home for people.
Evelyn Mateo, a parent-peer mentor for Employment Options, says that this program is sure to help numerous members of this community.
I'm really happy for the program. I know there are a lot of people out in the community that could use furniture. This is a reason we want other people to know, low-income people that could benefit and people that are having a hard time.
Residents can take advantage of what this program has to offer as long as they have a referral from a local known social service agency. Donations are necessary to keep this program alive. You can help low-income residents of the greater Marlborough area help themselves by providing them with materials they need to create a healthy, functional home.
Any donations that are made by anybody will go to truly destitute families, people that are absolutely qualified.
Individuals and businesses can donate household goods as long as items are clean and in good working order.
You will actually see the people that you're helping, and in this economy, everybody could really use a leg up.
For more information, please call the Furnishing Options Program at 508-485-5051, extension 245. The Marlborough Hospital Auxiliary 17th Annual Flea Market is just around the corner, and the event still has a few spaces left for vendors. The flea market will take place on September 12th and will be held in the grounds of Marlborough Hospital on Union Street. For more information or to obtain an application, please call Barbara DeFonso at 978-562-3532. Let's go now to our Pet of the Week.
have Roger. And Roger is a handsome puppy. He's a hound mix. He came to us from a group in South Carolina, which brings us a lot of great dogs. He's probably about 7 or 8 months old now. He's recently neutered here at Buddy Dog. He's shy at first. He has a lot to learn, but once he feels comfortable, he's playful and sweet. He's going to make a great family pet. So if you're interested in Roger, please call us here at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, the first Marlborough Triathlon drew in hundreds of athletes and many more spectators to participate in an event that raised money for Children's Hospital Boston and the Marlborough Public Schools Foundation. The event was held on July 26th and was a huge success. Race organizers are positive that it will become an annual event. Well, that's going to do it for this week's MTW News Update. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
Hello, everybody. This is Mrs. Norman Maine.
Please, sir, I want some more.
You miserable piece of humanity. I've had enough! Oh, what a woman! What a woman!
I have your heart from meat pudding.
It's just a smelling fog.
We are human. After all, nothing common.
The following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on your MTW News Update. A town hall forum was held as the debate over the expansion of legalized gambling comes to the forefront of Massachusetts politics. Students of this community head back to school and back into the classroom. Plus, a Special Olympics facility gets ready to open its doors. And the Labor Day Parade is coming your way once again this year. Don't go anywhere. This week's MTW News Update starts right now. Welcome to this MTW News Update. Let's begin right now with this week's top story as a forum is held to discuss the expansion of legalized gambling. Hoping to gain input on the growing debate over whether to legalize gambling in the state, State Representative Danielle Gregoire reached out to residents on Wednesday night at a town hall-style forum at Marlborough High School. Legislators presented differing points of view on casinos coming to the state, with Representative Kathy Ann Reinstein speaking in support of the idea, with Representative Daniel Bosley offering an opposing argument. Residents shared their views on the topic with Gregoire, who said she is still undecided on the issue. Gregoire said she expects legislators to take up the topic shortly after returning from summer recess. Marlborough has been eyed as a potential casino site, but Mayor Nancy Stevens, who attended the event, did tell the group of about 40 people that she has not had any communication with a potential casino developer. The Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee Tuesday night backed a blight ordinance amendment that would prohibit cars from being parked on lawns. The amendment would enhance enforcement because zoning ordinances currently restrict only unregistered cars from lawns. Residents would have options such as applying for a driveway expansion or seeking a variance. The committee okayed the proposal 3-0. It moves next to the full City Council for a vote likely at the September 28th meeting. The students of this community headed back to school this past week, and we were there to catch Jarwick Elementary School in action. Our cameras caught the school's dismissal on Wednesday afternoon. School buses gathered outside the Hosmer Street location to gather the students once again this year. All operations seem to be running smoothly for the beginning of the 2009-2010 school year. The Community Development Authority approved funding for security cameras and other safety enhancements at senior housing facilities last week. The board okayed $15,000, including $5,000 for cameras at 240 Main Street and $4,000 to secure a basement door at the building. Seniors at last month's CDA meeting expressed worries about safety at the Main Street housing complex, from suspicious people seen there to doors being left open. The new cameras will be linked to the police department to help deter crime. A plan to construct outdoor murals in the downtown district has been held up for about a year, but the issue is expected to be revisited. The idea is to create quality murals on outdoor structures that would highlight local history. The cost for construction would come exclusively from private sources. Special Olympics Massachusetts broke ground on its new Marlborough location and training center last October, with a goal of opening the building in just 1 year. The organization plans to offer training rooms for coaches and volunteers, a gymnasium, meeting rooms, and offices in the new sports training center at 512 4th Street. The center has a tentative opening date of October 1st, with a ribbon cutting planned for later on in the year. On Thursday, the Epicurean Room at Assabet Valley High School reopened for its 2009-2010 season. The restaurant is open from Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The public is encouraged to come have lunch or hold a business meeting in the full-service restaurant. Reservations are recommended and can be made by calling 508-485-9430, extension 1119. The Organization for the Assabet River will be holding its 23rd annual Assabet River Cleanup on Saturday, September 12th from 9 a.m. to noon. Volunteers will wade into the Assabet River and its tributaries to continue the effort to restore this beautiful asset to the city. For more information or to volunteer, please call the OAR office at 978-369-3956. The second annual Day for Sis event will take place on September 19th from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 295 Wilder Road in Bolton, Massachusetts. The event will benefit Darcia Lazarus, whom was a 1980 graduate from Marlborough High School and a longtime teacher's aide in Hudson. Lazarus had an allergic reaction to an antibiotic, which caused a chain reaction of medical issues, including a heart attack. Currently, Lazarus is in a coma and is a resident of Bolton Manor Nursing Home. If you would like to participate, an $80 entry for the event includes 9 holes of golf with cart, a barbecue lunch, and great raffle prizes. For more information or to learn more about Lazarus, please call Bill at 774-249-1747.
Today we have Melody, and Melody is an active little girl, as you can see. So probably best for an active family or someone who's looking out there to get some exercise and really move around. She's a very friendly, sweet dog, loves people, not so great with other dogs. She's a little stray from Puerto Rico, so we don't have a whole lot more information on her, but she's going to make a really good family pet with a little work. So if you're interested in Melody, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
And before we go, we want to remind you not to miss the Labor Day Parade festivities that are happening this Monday, September 7th. If you can't make it downtown to catch the parade, WMCT-TV will have live coverage for your convenience. We hope to see you all there. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of your MTW News Update. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.